Talisman Therapeutic Riding began in 2012. We started with one horse and one rider. And today, we're on this beautiful 30-acre farm that we own. We have 12 horses and approximately 50 riders a week. There's always more room for more riders. As you can see from our sign, we're also a horse discovery center for the state of Maryland. As a horse discovery center, anyone can come here and learn about horses. So we're excited by that. We also recently have been designated as the Upper Shore Training Center for Maryland Special Olympics, and we're really delighted and proud to have that designation as well. So we invite you for a short tour. We are here at the Welcome Center. This is one of our buildings on the property, and the Welcome Center has ADA bathrooms in it. It has a kitchenette. It also has private assessment space, and it has a library. We use the Welcome Center for all of our check-ins for volunteers and for riders, and of course it's an air-conditioned and heated space. This beautiful farm also features a large indoor riding arena, a horse barn with 17 stalls. We have an outdoor riding arena, a round pen, and trails. We are so proud to own this facility. The charity is very, very fortunate to have wonderful donors, wonderful people who have helped make that happen for us. So I'd like to introduce you to the Welcome Center. Come on in. Welcome to the Welcome Center. So here in the Welcome Center is our beautiful library. This was actually done by a Girl Scout volunteer and her dad. We're thrilled to have this library. It is part of our requirement as a PATH International Center, as well as a Maryland Horse Discovery Center. We encourage our riders to be able to take any of these books, watch the videos, they can take them home. There's coloring books. There's so much material about horses, everything from their anatomy to their various breeds. So the Welcome Center also features 2 bathrooms. We have ADA accessible bathrooms. We have a kitchenette, and then we also have private assessment space. And the reason for our private assessment space is because we are subject to HIPAA. In one of our programs, which is known as hippotherapy, we are providing physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech-language pathology. All of our riders have physician release forms that are signed. And so we're very careful. We're always using people's first names. All of the information is kept under lock and key. We're very proud to be able to have this facility to be able to conduct private assessments. In designing the Welcome Center, we also planned a wraparound porch. And so this 900 square foot building has a beautiful wraparound porch. One of the reasons for it is, as you can see, this is our outdoor riding arena. And when a lesson is taking place, families can sit here and enjoy watching a lesson without actually being in the lesson. With today's COVID, of course, there's a lot of new protocols in place here at Talisman Therapeutic Riding, and one of it is this outdoor check-in station. As you can see, there's a lot of requirements that people have to do. All of our riders and volunteers upon arrival will take their temperature. They will sign in to their logbook. Riders record their temperature, so do our volunteers. So this is our volunteer sign-in book, and each one of our volunteers has their own page. They record the time that they check in, the time that they leave. They do that really for 2 reasons. All of our volunteers are covered by insurance, but in addition to that, we like to recognize our volunteers for their service hours. In fact, many companies where people work might match the hours that a person has donated with a financial contribution to the charity. So we do track this information. We're very proud of all of our volunteers and all the time that they give us. This is our tack room, which is part of our horse barn. The tack room is where all the equipment for the horses are kept. These are our bitless bridles. So in therapeutic riding is very much about adaptive horseback riding. So in our lessons, we will use a bitless bridle. It puts pressure on the horse's nose at a different location, and of course it's not using a bit. Many of our riders have spasticity issues, and we don't want to hurt the horse's mouth. We also will use things like rainbow reins. So if our rider doesn't understand, pick up your reins, we might say, hold the reins where it's red. And so that's another thing in adaptive horseback riding. So we have bridles with bits. Our bridles with bits are when we are schooling our horses and perhaps teaching them something new. And so our expert riders will use the bridles with bits. Each one of our horses has a saddle, and the saddles are sized to the horse's back. They are all English saddles. We do have some Western saddles if that's what a rider prefers to start in. Our goal is to get them into an English saddle because the closer the contact to the back of the horse, the more progress you're going to make in terms of core strength development, muscle tone, focus, shoulders back, head up. One of the other pieces of adaptive tack is called a surcingle. And in this case, what we were doing is not even using a saddle. So quite often with children that are on the autism spectrum, we will use a saddle pad and a surcingle. So this goes around the belly of the horse. What's remarkable is when we have a speech-language pathologist in that lesson as well, you could take the sounds that a child might be making on the autism spectrum and turn those into words. How does that happen? It happens because the warmth of the horse actually relaxes their vocal cords, and so those sounds that are coming forward can turn into words. And I will tell you, we have seen it happen many, many times here, and when it does happen, you literally have to pull us off the ceiling. This is our lovely horse barn. We have 17 stalls altogether, and as you can tell, they're absolutely magnificent stalls. A great size. Our horses are very, very comfortable. So our horses are in their stalls in the evening, mostly turned out during the day. Of course, it's all subject to weather. And so you can see what a beautiful stall it is. They have 2 water buckets in there. They also have a feed bin, and they're given hay on a daily basis. Over here is our wash stall. And we love getting our riders involved in grooming and caring for the horses. So it's not always about what's taking place on the back of the horse. It's also the nurturing and caring. And so the wash stall is used to give the horses baths. You can tell it's been used a number of times today. How are you? Yeah, you're a big guy. Yeah, you're very handsome. This is our feed room. And the reason why I show you the feed room is this is a little bit of being a scientist. So our barn manager and assistant barn manager plan all the grain for each horse each day. They get grain in the morning and grain in the evening. And it's a little bit of a chemistry because some horses are on certain supplements, some horses are on certain kinds of grain based on their age, based on the kind of nutrition that they need. So this, for example, is the menu for all the horses. And as you can see, there's a lot that goes into it. Therapeutic riding is about independent riding. That's our goal. And one of the great things that we have here at the farm is called a round pen. And this is a great transition area because as someone might no longer need sidewalkers but still has a horse leader, the instructor might put that person on a lunge line and they will actually be here in this round pen. It's a small enough space that a horse is not going to take up a canter or a gallop or anything like that, anything near that. But it is that good transition to becoming an independent rider. I'd also like to point out through these woods we have made our sensory trail. And so we actually are a waterfront farm. So there's water in there, part of the Chesapeake Bay, and our trail goes all the way up for 1,000 feet to the top of our pastures. And it's beautiful in there. It's so nice and shady and lovely, and there's a lot of wildlife that you come across in the woods. This is our indoor riding arena, and it is a 16,000 square foot indoor arena. Most of our lessons will begin in here, but it's also so lovely that we have this because if it's raining or if it's inclement weather, this is a wonderful place to continue with our lessons. In addition, some of our riders are on medication, and in that case they can't be out in the bright sunlight, and so this facility really comes in very, very handy for many of those riders. You'll notice at the end we have mirrors, and we use those mirrors as part of the instruction. So for example, we have used the mirrors to have a young girl understand about keeping her head up. So we could demonstrate that to her in the mirror. But we also had another young rider who finally was able to say, "I am Jessica," and it was because she was looking in the mirror. So she typically would say, "It's Jessica." We wanted her to understand that I am Jessica, and the mirror became very handy for that. Therapeutic riding centers will have mounting ramps, and the reason for that is if our rider is in a wheelchair or using a walker or has the inability to be able to get onto a horse from a mounting block, the mounting ramp becomes very, very useful. And so typically what happens is the person in a wheelchair will be up here, the instructor is up here, as well as one of our volunteers. And then standing on this side is another volunteer on a mounting block. When the whole team is ready, the horse leader brings the horse in, the horse is facing this way. We have taught all of our horses to stand still at this. And now you can see how much easier it is to put a person on the back of a horse. It's about doing it with dignity. So we're very proud to have our own mounting ramp. Thank you for watching our farm tour today. We hope that you've enjoyed it. We welcome you to come back anytime. We're here 7 days a week. We're always looking for volunteers. We never turn away any riders. So please come and visit us sometime soon.